Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lita's Corner. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet this tiger from Kpop Demon Hunters. It's a new movie that just came out. I've seen everyone kind of making little plushies of this, but I haven't seen any tutorials really. So I thought I would make one and I would share it with everyone. This one right here, he's not the right color. He's supposed to be a lighter blue, which he's not. So as I make him, he will be the correct color, and I will show a photo of him over here of what he's supposed to look like and what mine looks like at the end. And it will also be the thumbnail, but this is the only one I have. So you gotta bear with me. Okay, so for the first yarn we have, it is a Burnett blanket, a weight 6. All of them are Burnett blanket brand, but I do not have the tags and labels for the other ones. I'm going to be using this light blue Burnett blanket. Then we have our black Burnett blanket, and we have a dark blue. This is my color palette. These are the yarns I'm going to be using for the tiger. So moving on, we are going to jump right into the pattern. Alright, so we are going to start with making the body of the tiger. And in order to do that, we need to do a magic ring of 8. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of how to do a magic ring. What you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and your pinky, and you're going to hold that down. Hold the tail of it down. You're going to wrap it around your fingers, and then you're going to make it diagonal and go underneath, over your ring and pinky, and then hold it tight. You are going to give yourself a little bit of slack, and then you're going to flip your hand over. Once you do that, you're going to take your hook and make sure it's upside down, so facing down. Go under the right side and over the left and pull it through. Now you're going to twist it towards you, and you're going to have like a little loop now. So going along with the left and right pieces, you're going to go under the left, so use your pointer finger to hold it down and go under the left string and pull it through. So now you can let it go. You can adjust your yarn to how you need it. And then you're going to start single crocheting around. You need 8 in total. So you're going to go underneath your 2 strings. You're going to loop over and pull through. Then you're going to loop over again and pull through both strings that were on the hook. To show again, we're going to go under both of the strands and loop and pull under. You have the 2 on your hook. You're going to loop over again and pull through. And you're going to finish it off making your 8 single crochets. And make sure you tighten it. Now using the tail, you're going to pull it tight. To finish it off, you're going to count your stitches. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over once, through, and then through the one on your hook. And that's how you finish off your magic ring. Going on to round 2, we are going to increase in every single stitch all the way around. How you increase is you will insert your hook into the next stitch, you will loop over, pull through, so where you have 2 on your hook. You will loop over again and pull through both. Now you're going to do all of that again in the same stitch. So you're going to insert your hook, loop over and pull through. You have your 2 on your hook. You will loop over and pull through both. You have now put 2 stitches into 1, making it an increase. Now you're going to do that all the way around. Alright, so that's our last stitch. I'm not realizing I forgot to put my stitch marker in, which how you use your stitch marker is you just put it in the last stitch of your row. So from where I just finished my increases, it just goes into the same stitch that I'm on. That's how you would do it. All right. Now moving on to row 3, we are going to single crochet and then increase in the next stitch. are going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So how you do that is you will do 1 single crochet in your first stitch. Next, you're going to do 2 or an increase in the next. So here is 1 and 2. I'll show you one more time. So you single crochet 1 and then you increase. Repeat all the way around. Now that I'm on my last stitch, you should end on an increase. So do your last 2, then you can put your stitch marker back in. This row should have 24 stitches all the way around. So we'll double check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yep, I have all 24. Next, we're going to move on to round 4. All right, so starting in row 4, we are going to single crochet 2 and then increase. So we'll do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, both in separate stitches, and then we're going to do our increase that has 2 in the same stitch. So 1, 2. One more time, that is 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then an increase. Go ahead and repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the front. All right, so I'm on my last few, and you should also end this row on an increase. So we'll remove our stitch marker and do our increase. At the end of this row, you should have a total of 30 stitches. Moving on to row 5 through 10. These are all going to be single crochets, and you're just going to put 1 in each stitch all the way around for 5 rounds. All right, so I just finished rows 5 through 10 single crocheting. This is what it looks like. So for row number 6, we are going to single crochet 2 and then decrease, which means we are just going to single crochet. So we're going to 1, then in the next stitch 2, and now we're going to decrease. So I do invisible decreases. So how I do that is I will take my hook and I will get just the front part of the stitch, because there's the front and the back. So you get just the front, and then you get the front of the next stitch over. So now you have 3 on your hook. You're going to loop over, then you're going to pull through the 2 front pieces to where you have 2 on there now. Then you're going to loop over again and pull through. And that is 1 decrease. So now we're going to go back to doing 1 single crochet, 1 more single crochet, and just for a little bit closer view, you get the front of the stitch, and you get the front of the next one, to where you have 3. You loop over, and you pull through 2, then you'll loop over again and pull through the other 2. Now you're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, now that we're on our last one, you should be ending with a decrease. So front, front, pull through, pull through. We'll put our stitch marker back. That was row 11. All right, so now for rows 12 through 16, you are going to single crochet in every single stitch once again. So just continue to single crochet in every stitch for, I think, 4 more rows, 12 through 16, and then I'll meet you at the end. So I just finished rows 12 through 16, and now I can take out my stitch marker, and I'm going to slip stitch this close. So you just go in through the stitch, you loop over once, pull through to where there's 2 on the line, and you just take the first one and go under the second one to where you only have 1 left. Now you're going to want to pull and give yourself a bunch of slack so you can sew your project together. Now we have officially finished the body. Now moving on to the head. Okay, so now we're going to begin on the head of the tiger. And to do that, you need to make a magic ring of 8. Alright, so now I'm at the end of row 1. And we are going to be moving on to row 2. So in round 2, this row is going to consist of 8 increases. So in total, you'll have 16 stitches in the end. Alright, now moving on to row 3. Alright, so in row 3, we're going to single crochet 1 and then increase. You'll repeat that step 8 times all the way around. You should end up with 24 stitches at the end. Alright, so now we have made it to the end of row 3. Alright, moving on to row 4, we are going to single crochet 2 and then increase 1. And we will do that 8 times, and at the end it should give us a total of 32 stitches around. So I will meet you whenever I finish this row. Alright, so I'm getting to the end, and make sure that your guys' rows are ending on increases. And make sure you guys are counting your rows just to make sure that you have the right number in each row, because that is very important. Alright, well, we have just finished row 4, and we are now moving on to row 5. So row 5 is one that we haven't done yet, and all it is just, it is 3 single crochets, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. So it's 1 by itself, 2 by itself, 3 by itself, and then 2 together. So 3 single crochets and then an increase. I'm going to go all the way around and I'll meet you back here. Alright, we have made it back around. I'm doing the last increase. This row should have 40 stitches in total. Alright, so rows 6 through 12 are just going to be single crochets in all of the stitches. So you're just going to do 40 single crochets in each row for 6 rows. So I'll meet you back here once I'm done with those 6 rows. So I just finished rows 6 through 12, and now we are moving on to row 13. So for this row, we are going to single crochet 3 and then decrease 1. So we're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to decrease. So the front, through the 2, through the other 2. And we're going to continue that pattern all the way around. You will get a total of 32 stitches whenever you're done. So I am coming up on an end to this row, and then I will be going and working on row 14 after this. Alright, so row 14 is just 1 row of single crochets all the way around. You'll have 32 stitches whenever you're done with this row, and I will see you when I get to the end. Alright, coming up to an end on row 14. Row 15 will have 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. So 1, 2, and then our decrease. 1, 2, and a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. Coming to an end on row 15, you should have a total of 24 stitches. Row 16 is just a series of single crochets all the way around. You will still have 24 stitches whenever you're done. So I will meet you whenever I get back to the end. So I have made it to the last 2 stitches of row 16, and we are getting ready to go into row 17. Row 17 is going to have 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease. So you're going to do your 1 single crochet and then your 1 decrease. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. So I just finished row 17, And you should have a total of 16 once you're done with this row. Now, row 18 is just decreases. So you're going to decrease in every single stitch. So decrease, decrease, and so forth until you reach the end. And you will have 8 stitches once you're done. I just finished row 17, and I am just going to slip stitch and then give myself some slack. So we just finished the base of the tiger's head. Now we are going to do the ears, and to do that you're going to just press it in and fold it in half. With our light blue, we are going to make a slip knot. So this is how I make my slip knots. I take my thumb and my ring finger and I hold the working end, and I wrap the tail around my index and my middle finger. I then go into the gap behind the yarn, and it goes behind both pieces. I then will go from the front and take it through the bottom part. So underneath that middle section, you're going to go to the bottom. You'll pull your middle finger out and tightening it. Then you can take your hook and you can pull the working string, your working yarn, and make it tighter so you can begin to crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 6 rows down, and then we're going to surface crochet. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to take it, and you're going to insert your hook underneath the stitch sideways. And you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull it through. I'll move the tail so you can see. And we'll have 2 on our hook. You're going to take the first loop and take it through the second one, okay? You're going to tighten it so it's nice and secure. And you're going to take your tail and you're going to lay it flat so you can crochet over it, okay? So it just secures the end so you don't have to sew as much in the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet into the same stitch. So how we do that is you're going to yarn over to where we have 2 on the hook. You're going to go into the same stitch where we were, and you're going to yarn over and pull through. So now we have 3 on our hook. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops to where you just have 1 now. Next, we are going to double crochet into the next stitch, okay? So you're going to yarn over. You're going to go underneath the stitch diagonal to it in the back, on the back side, okay? And you're going to yarn over and pull through. We have 3. For the double crochet, you are going to yarn over and then pull through 2 of them to where you still have 2, but you went through 2, okay? Now you're going to yarn over again and pull through 2. Now you are going to chain 1 and you're going to double crochet into the same stitch. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, and what you're going to do is you're going to half double crochet into the closer one. So yarn over, go underneath our stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now, to end off this ear, we are going to go into the same stitch and slip stitch. So go through, pull your yarn through, and go through the same loop without yarning over. And then we're going to pull some slack, tightening it, and then cutting our string. And that is how we do 1 ear. Also, for the ears, you want to go into the middle and grab that extra string and just pull it into the middle. Like, you'll just take it and you're just going to drag it in so that you can no longer see it. And it's just completely tucked away. You'll do that with the end, and you'll do that with the one that you crocheted over top of. So where it's just the ear poking out. Alright, so for the second ear, you're going to start at the top of your ear that you just crocheted, and you're going to count 11. So with the one it started on, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And on the 12th stitch, the one right behind 11, you're going to go into and slip stitch. So go through yarn over, and pull through, go through your stitch. You're going to take your string and lay it flat down so you can crochet over top of it. In the same stitch, you're going to half double crochet. So do your half double crochet. In the next stitch, the one diagonal to the back, you are going to double crochet. So 1, 2, and you'll chain 1. You will double crochet into the same stitch again. 1, 2. And then you are going to half double crochet into the one below it. So go into that and you will half double crochet, and then you will slip stitch into the same stitch. So pull it and give yourself some slack so you can fasten it off and tighten it. So now you're going to go back through the inside and grab your tails and pull them into the head. And here you have the tiger ears. Alright, so moving on to the arms, we're going to start with the light blue. And what we're going to do first is we're going to make a magic ring of 6. Alright, so that is the end of row 1. Moving on to row 2, we are going to single crochet 1 and then increase. So you'll insert your hook, do 1 single crochet, and the next you will do an increase. And you'll repeat that 3 times. Alright, and you should end this row on an increase. And now moving on to row 3. Alright, so for row 3 we're going to switch to color A, which this is the color of the body. And you're going to make a slip knot. And then on your hook with the light blue, you're going to put your slip knot onto your hook. And you're going to pull it through and tighten your blue. That way so it's nice and secure and it won't move. Now with your color change, you're going to single crochet in the next stitch. And then you'll have 2 strings on the back, which you are then going to tie together just to give it some extra security. I like to do mine twice, just so I know that it's not going to come undone. So cut your light blue string, and then you'll continue going all the way around, single crocheting. So in row 4, you are now going to single crochet 2. So 1, 2, and now you are going to decrease twice. So you have 1, and then 2. And you'll finish your round by single crocheting 3. 1, 2, 3. You'll have a total of 7 in this round. Now for all your extra strings in the middle, you can just tuck them into the bottom of his foot, just so you don't have to use as much polyfill or stuffing. It's just your preference. And if you don't want it to be that tight, then you can always just cut off your extra. But make sure not to cut it close to the bottom, because then it'll have a chance of coming unraveled as you use the plushie or keep the plushie over time. 5 through 11 are going to be single crochets. So just 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way to row 11. Alright, so once you reach the end of row 11 and you do your last single crochet, you are going to slip stitch into the next, and you'll tightening it, and then give yourself plenty of yarn so you can sew it shut once you stuff it and sew it to the body. Alright, so make sure you make 2 arms. Alright, so moving on to the legs, you are going to use our light blue or color B, and you are going to make a magic ring of 6. Alright, so we have made it to the end of row 1. Now we're going to move on to row 2. So moving on to round 2, we are now going to increase in every single stitch. It'll be a total of 6 increases and a total of 12 stitches all the way around whenever we're done. Alright, Now moving on to row 3. Moving on to row 3, we are going to make a slip knot and switch to color A again, which is the base color of our tiger. You're going to put on your hook, pull it through, tighten your light blue or color B. You'll single crochet one, and you will tie your 2 strings in the back so it's nice and snug like last time. Now, using our color A, you are going to single crochet in the next 3 through 5 rounds. So, I will meet you back here on round 5. So once you finish row 5, row 6 is a little different than all the other rows we're going to do. We are only going to crochet in half of this row. So you're going to do 6 single crochets in row 6. So once you do your 6 stitches, you're going to slip stitch, tighten it, and then give yourself some slack so you can sew it to the body at the end. Make sure that you have 2 of them, and we're going to move on to the tail. So to start the tail off, we are going to make a magic ring of 4 with our black yarn. Alright, so we just finished row 1. Next, row 2 is just going to be single crochets all the way around with black. Alright, so once you finish row 2, you're going to switch to color A, which is the color of the body. So you'll make your slip knot, and you'll attach it how we've been attaching them. Now the difference is that we are not going to cut the black string. We are going to keep that attached because we are going to switch back to that color in a little bit. So for the next 2 rounds, rows 3 and 4, you're going to make them color A. Alright, so I just finished round 4, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to black. Now you're going to have these 2 tails, which what you're going to do is you're just going to try and keep those to the side and not mess with those because you're just basically going to crochet around those. So to switch back to the color, you're going to loop over with your black, and then you are going to pull through your blue. So then you'll tighten your blue and you'll tighten your black to where it's a good tension, and you're going to single crochet for the next 2 rounds. Alright, so I just finished round 6, and if you want, you can now take the tail ends, so the pieces that are not attached to your main yarn, and you can cut them so they stay out of your way. Now you are going to switch back to your blue, and you're going to go back and single crochet for another 2 rows. You are basically going to repeat this pattern all the way until you reach row 16. So I will meet you back there once I get to row 16. I have just finished row 16, and I ended on my color A blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into it now. I'm going to tighten my string, and I'm going to give myself some slack so I can sew it onto the body. Alright, so now with our black and blue, we are going to just tie a simple knot, just so it's nice and secure and that the black will not come undone once we cut it. And what you'll do is you'll take your crochet hook, and you're going to go about 4 rows down, I would say, and take it and slide it through the middle through one of the stitches. You'll grab your black yarn and loop it about halfway, and you're going to just simply pull it through the middle of your tail and out the side, just so it stays in the middle and it won't be in the way of you sewing. Then you can just cut your extra. So you'll just cut the extra now, and then kind of work it so there's nothing sticking out. So now it is just the one tail that you have to sew. So to begin our assembly off, we are going to have to stuff each piece. The tail does not get stuffed, so just set that off to the side, but you're going to stuff the head, the body, the arms, and the feet. So now we are going to attach the head to the body, and how you do that is you're going to string your needle with the yarn that's attached to the body, And if you look at the bottom of the head, you can see the individual rows. So you have the center, which is the magic ring. Then you have row 2 and row 3. You're going to attach this to row 3. 1, 2, 3. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through the top of the stitch and out the bottom. So you're going under the 3rd row. And you're just going to take it and you're going to pull that tight. All right. So now we have the beginning of it attached, all right? You're going to go back through the stitch on the body and you're going to pull that through. And you're going to make sure that you're tightening it quite a bit. So now, in the stitch beside on the head, you'll go through and out the bottom, and you'll tighten it. And then with the next stitch on the body, you'll go through the middle to the outside, tighten it. And you're going to repeat that all the way around your 3rd row and all the way around your body. All right, so I am on the last one, and I'm going to show you how to tie this off now. So it's about the same concept as the last one. You go underneath the stitch, and then you're going to go through your loop and just tighten it and make sure that it's nice and secure. So through your stitch, through the loop, tightening it, and then just taking it through the body. So you can cut your tail off and it is just nice and secure. All right, so moving on to the arms, you are going to thread your needle. So our paw is curved at the bottom. It's bigger at the bottom and then it's thinner at the top. You want the curved part to be facing you in the front, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take your needle. I'm going to move that so you can see. And you're going to go through the first stitch and out the second stitch. So you're going to go through the front and out the back, okay? So you'll pull that, and then you're going to go through the next stitch on the front and the next one on the back. You'll repeat that one more time through the next in the front and in the back. And then there's one extra, so just go through that one and through the same stitch in the back. Just so it's flat at the top, and now you're going to be able to sew it on to the body. All right, so to attach it to the body, you're going to go down 4 rows, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to go in through the bottom of the stitch and out the top diagonally. And then you will tighten it. You are also going to make sure that you don't have your tiger arm directly in the middle of the face. You want it to be off to the side by a few stitches, okay? So now that we've already gone through the back and we've gone diagonal, you're going to go through the first stitch. So you're going to go back through the first stitch and out. And you're going to take it and tighten it to where it is now attached into the first stitch. So we went in through this one and out the top. We are going to now go through this one. So go down and through diagonally. And then we are going to go through the front and into the back and tightening that. So we've done that both in the same row, and we're going to go down a row, through and out the top of that stitch, so that our arm is not straight, but catty-cornered, so it is a little diagonal. And then you'll go back through the stitch, out the back, and then in the same row, you're going to go to the stitch beside it, down and through, and then down and through the arm. So now we are going to tie it off. So you're going to go down and under the stitch on the arm, and you're going to go through the loop and tighten it. So down and under the stitch, through the loop, and tighten it. So now we have our arm that is slightly catty-cornered. You will just take your string and run it through the body, out the side, and then you'll cut your string off. Alright, so for the next arm, what you're going to do is you're going to follow the same steps as the last arm being sewn on, but this time what you're going to do is over 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, into the bottom of the 4th one, and catty corner it through the top. Right, so we are going to attach the legs to the sides now. And how you do that is at the bottom, you're going to count 10 stitches to the side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the row where we are going to be putting our leg. All right, so we're just going to pin that for right now. Now for your leg, for the last row we did, we only crocheted in half of the row, which means it's uneven. So what we're going to do is the side that we crocheted those 6 stitches in is going to be facing the back of our tiger. So you'll place it, and you're going to go through the top and out the bottom of the stitch of row 10. You'll tighten, and then you're going to go back and through the outside of the leg. You'll tighten it and make sure that it's nice and snug and secure. So down one row, so in row 9, you're going to go through the front and out the bottom. And then you're going to go through the stitches from the inside to the outside. So in row 8, the one diagonal to it, you're going to go in and out the bottom. Then you are going to just do it to the leg, in through the middle, out through the outside. So then row 7, down and through the inside to the outside, down and through row 6, down and through the stitch of the leg. Okay, in the same row, you're going to go through the bottom, out the top, and then do it to the leg. One more in that row, so through the bottom, out the top, then through the leg. And then you're just going to go back up. So going back up to row 7, you're going to go through the bottom and out the top. Then you're going to attach the leg. So for row 8, you're going to go through the bottom, out the top, attach the leg. Row 9, through the bottom, out the top, and through the leg again. And then for the last stitch, we're going to go back through row 10, out the top, and then connect our last stitch, which we will just fasten off how we've been doing. So you're going to go out and through the stitch, and then through the loop, pulling it tight, down and under through the loop, tightening it. And you're just going to take it and drag it through the body, and then you'll cut your tail. Now you're just going to do the same thing to this leg on the other side. And to do that, I am just going to thread our needle, and then about halfway in between, just find out where you want it, find a good placing for it. I'm going to say right here is good for me, so I'm going to go through the bottom and out the top, and then back through the tail. And I'm just going to sew it on, which there's only 4 stitches, so you only need to go around it on the bottom, the side, then the top, then the side, and then I'm just going to go through the bottom stitch to finish it off. So go back through the loop. I'm going to do it one more time. Go back through the loop. And I'm just going to take my yarn and go back through the body, out the bottom, so I can then cut the string and move on. Alright, to start out with making the face, you want to make sure that all your pieces are the correct size and that all of them will line up and fit on the face. So just take all your basic cutouts, like just the base of the mouth, and then the blue parts of the eyes, and just try to like line everything up to how you would want to glue it on. Alright, so to start out, I went ahead and glued the teeth and the tongue to the base of this. So I can just glue this all together onto my tiger without having to worry about pieces falling off or having to realign them. I went ahead and glued most of the eyes. Most of the eye pieces are glued together now as well. I just need to glue on the yellow pieces. Which how I'm doing the circles is I just do a spot of glue in the middle, and then I place and press. And then as soon as it is like partially dry, I will lift it up and then just glue a little bit under the flaps at a time. I will just work my way all the way around so that it's just nice and secure, and I know that it's not going to peel off or fall off or anything like that. Alright, so now I'm going to glue the middle of the ears to the inside of them. Alright, so here are the finished ear pieces, and now we are going to move on to the eye placement. I went ahead and glued all three of the layers together in the highlights. Now I'm just going to find out where I want to place everything. Alright, so I think this placement is pretty good, so I'm just going to move everything off, and I'm going to go ahead and glue the eyes down right here. So the base of the eyes have been glued on, and now I'm going to glue the eyes onto him. So our eyes are glued on, and now I'm going to do the nose and the mouth. Alright, so I just finished crocheting the mouth on, or I just finished gluing the mouth on, and now I'm going to move on to the 3 dots and the detailing at the top. So here's my placement. I have the 3 dots and the 2 lines. Make sure that you have a line in between the 2 blue pieces and that your other 2 dots line up with your 2 lines on each side. Alright, so I just finished gluing on all the pieces. So everything has now been glued on and all of my placement is done. Now I'm going to work on making all of the stripes on the back of the head, on his back, on his legs, and his arms. Alright, so for the stripes, you are going to go 3 across in the 4th row. And you're going to go all the way across to where you have 3 left on this side. And you're going to pull your string through. You are now going to go back into the same stitch and pull it through so that it overlaps. And that is going to be the middle of your stripe. You will now go into the same stitch that you just came out of and go down diagonal. So you'll go down 3 rows and come out 2 rows over. Through the center of another one. Go down 1 more actually. You will go all the way across once again. So you need to go down 3 and over 2. Then you will drop down. You'll go down 3 and over 3 and come out at the bottom. So pull that through. We now have the base of 3 stripes. Then you will come back. So then you're going to go over to where it's down 3 and over 2. And you're going to go all the way up to here with this one. So just work your needle all the way up to where you're in the same stitches at the beginning. Then you're going to tie it off. So to do our outline in black, you're going to go into the same stitch and come out the same one as the 1st row. And then you're going to go back into the same stitch and come out the same spot. Now, keeping your yarn on the top side, like keeping it towards the top, you're going to go back through again and go down towards your next row. so that your two blacks will outline your light blue. And repeat that going through all of the stripes you do. Alright, so for his head, I was able to do 4 stripes. I did 4 on the back, and I did 1 on the hip on both sides. I did 2 on the leg, 1 at the base and 1 halfway. I did that on both of the legs. And then on the arms in the front, I did 2 on the sides, making the top one longer than the bottom one. Now we're going to do the detailing on his chest. Alright, so for the spots on the belly, there's not a specific order that they need to be in. So you're going to go under a stitch and then come out the top of it, going in between the rows. And you're going to drag your string through, so you have a tail. Now you're going to go back through, like go from the top and back under. And then you're going to go out a stitch where you want your next spot to be. So I'm going to go up, I'm going to skip a row and go diagonal. That way, whenever you tighten it, there will be a small blue patch. So you're just going to repeat that until you get as many spots as you want. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a total of 8 spots. And to end it, you're just going to go back to where you started, going underneath your tiger, going underneath the surface, and you will tie it. Just a simple knot. You'll do it kind of snug, so it goes underneath the stitches. And then you'll do another one. You'll cut your string. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, go under the surface, and pull your tails into the middle. So we have our little spot detailing on there. So here is our finished product.